This is the second of 3 videos on Tier 3 gasoline, a wolf in sheep's clothing, which is a presentation made at the OPIS Fuels and Octane Forum, October 24, 2019. The first video contains an analysis showing that after 6 years of capital investment, there has been no net progress in upgrading the United States FCC process trains for Tier 3 gasoline. My view is the industry is not ready for Tier 3 gasoline, and the problem is octane. The FCC train is the main machine for producing octane barrels, and when you desulfurize FCC gasoline, you destroy some of those octane barrels. The issue is octane loss in the gasoline desulfurizer. When desulfurizing gasoline, there is a side reaction that destroys octane barrels that were produced in the cracker. And when we turn up the heat on the desulfurizer to remove the last traces of sulfur for Tier 3, that octane loss starts going exponential. Here is a chart of octane loss on an FCC gasoline desulfurizer. Octane loss is shown on the vertical axis and product sulfur on the horizontal. And we want to look at this chart moving from right to left. As we move from right to left and lower gasoline sulfur, we are turning up the heat to desulfurize harder. And as we do that, simultaneously by a parallel side reaction, we destroy more octane. When refiners start pushing their desulfurizers to make 10 ppm gasoline, the octane loss accelerates. We measured this curve in a 2016 field test on a commercial gasoline desulfurizer. It shows the same exponential octane loss we measured in our 2015 pilot plant studies. And we have measured it in tests on other commercial gasoline desulfurizers. It is especially a problem in red refineries where the desulfurizer must carry the whole load for Tier 3. This orange curve we call the ultimate curve because our data indicates it is about the best one can do in real life. The orange curve is also what the industry has been expecting as typical. But it is not typical. It is more like the best case. Our data shows U.S. gasoline desulfurizers are much more clustered around the red curve. This difference between the orange and red curves, between expected and actual, is unexpected octane loss that is very well documented in our reports, and it is the biggest reason I disagree with the industry consensus. This refinery, when they did their field test and measured this red curve, concluded they just cannot afford that much octane loss, and they invested some capital to move their curve up. That investment is going to pay off very well because octane barrels are very valuable today, and we are eager to help other refiners do that too. Some significant improvements can be achieved quickly with little or no capital investment. Our pilot plant and field tests showed that gasoline desulfurizers in red refineries, when pushed to make 10 ppm gasoline, will lose 5 times more octane than the industry is expecting. We estimate this additional unexpected octane loss will add up to billions of dollars per year in octane destruction. This is the problem I foresee. Everything I have shown you up till now was known by and was paid for by and was being used by my client group 2 years ago. That was October of 2017, when the third and last of our 3 annual reports on our Tier 3 research project was released. The 3-year, $1.1 million project ran from 2014 through 2017. I have shown only a small part of what is in these 3 annual reports. But let's review 3 facts I have shown that support my contrarian view on Tier 3 readiness. 1, we are way behind schedule in meeting the goal. 2, there's been no net progress in upgrading our FCC trains for Tier 3. 3, octane loss is 5 times higher than expected when making 10 ppm gasoline. With these 3 facts, it makes good sense to ask, why is there such high confidence we are ready to make 10 ppm sulfur gasoline? What is going to happen? Adaptation. Refiners will find ways to make it work. This means adjusting operations to mitigate octane loss or cope with it or make up for it, or do without the octane. But this is when the wolf sheds his disguise. The adaptations are costly. Thanks a lot for your attention. Tier 3 gasoline, a wolf in sheep's clothing, is taken from a 3-year multi-client research project that was completed in 2017. This is part 2 of a presentation made at the OPIS Fuels and Octane Forum 2019. Part 3 will be posted next week. We have released only a small part of the research results included in our reports. We hope refiners will choose to buy the reports on our project, which are available immediately to anyone.